Sai
Om Shri Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
We'll be starting a session. Yes, Sai Ram sir, you're calling me? Sridhar sir?
Yeah, I was not able to get the connect. Now you're audible. Yeah, thanks, Sai Ram.
Okay. Sai Ram will be starting with Omkaram and Sai Gayatri. Om. 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 Om Saishwaraya Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. Om Saishwaraya Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. Om Saishwaraya Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Sai Ram. Offering my humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Mother Sai. I welcome you all for today's satsang. We are meeting after almost 2 months. So I was in traveling, so I could not conduct satsangs. And my health was also not, I was not keeping well for some time. So now I'm okay. Sorry for the inconvenience caused. If you remember my previous satsangs on Tyagaraja, we have observed many traits, especially when we were focusing on the character of a devotee, basically character of Tyagaraja. He had a unique trait of unquenchable thirst for knowledge in music. He had learned music from the best of the gurus. Even his maternal grandfather was a renowned artist, a maestro. He learned from many gurus, and his guru was actually, was the Asthana Gayaka of the court of the king of those days. Yet his passion to learn music was unquenchable. He was not satisfied. He wanted more to learn. And that earnest seeking for that knowledge, earnest quest. Always when they say, when you really crave for something out of your heart, out of your soul, there would be no options for God, other than just to accept. So that's what happened in his life. He sends Narada as a Brahmin, and who gifts him a book called Svararnavam, with lots and lots of hidden secrets in music. And that's the power of the passion and the penchant or the devotion towards learning. And this is not something that we are not talking about the story that happened somewhere in some other yuga or some other manvantara where we don't have proper evidences. No, it was just 2-3 centuries ago. still such things can happen when you have that earn seeking. And while listening to Bhagavata Vahini, even about Parikshit himself is epitome of Shravana Bhakti. We take him as an example for Shravana Bhakti. What was so special about listening of Parikshit and listening of other people? Especially the listening capability of Parikshit. Why he was regarded, or why he is considered as epitome for Shravana Bhakti, for listening? Because his bhakti for Krishna was so high that he was listening to everyone without judgment. So when bhakti is full, he was just listening word Krishna, and he was folding his hands, and in prayer he used to listen, whether it was operas of his subjects or talks or sermons by any pandits or anyone. He was completely ignoring the profiles, the abilities of the speaker, and with all humility, he used to listen to Krishna. That's the true devotion. So, because he had that devotion, and the very act with which he used to do the devotion, he became epitome of that listening, the Shravana Bhakti. Why I am telling these traits? Because today's speaker, Sridhar sir, possesses both these traits. He has penchant for knowledge in spite of being a distinguished personality in his life. At the same time, he is very humble. Listening to, just listening to Sai doesn't matter. He completely ignores the profiles of speakers, the abilities of speakers, and just sincerely listening to Sai. And we have seen those traits where they have the traits possessed by those devotees, where they have gone, to what great heights they have gone. So, Sairam brothers and sisters, please join me in welcoming our esteemed speaker today, a true embodiment of dedication and humility, with a passion for continuous learning. Being a distinguished chartered accountant, he had a remarkable ability to listen without judgment. And he brings a wealth of knowledge with him, and at the same time, a heart of humility to the stage. So let's all get ready to be inspired by his wisdom, expertise. And coming to a brief profile, which already I have shared, he came to know about Swami through his professor in 1976. First heard about Swami through him. And later, when his father was posted in Bangalore around 1978 and 79, he had multiple opportunities to visit homes of many devotees, visit Brindavan, visit Parthi, and have Darshan, Sparshan, and Sambhashan with Swami. In 2014, a death in family made him kind of inclined towards Narayan Seva. And that's when he started coming for Narayan Seva at Sai Gitanjali, that happens every Sunday. And from then, he never looked back. He has been a regular participant who, hardly misses any day. That's his dedication. And I don't want to take much time now. So please join me in welcoming our esteemed speaker today. Welcome you, sir.
Sai Ram, sir. Sai Ram.
So my first question to you is, you have come into Sai fold through your professor. I mean, that's what first you heard about Swami. So what were his experiences? What was the image that you have created about Swami through his experiences? And at the same time, please, let us tell me more about your family background also, and how, being staunch Vaishnavite devotees, how was this journey of acceptance of Sai? Because having a very staunch belief and having some certain very strong belief system and coming out of that, in spite of that, accepting some phenomenon like this, it is not that easy. So kindly elucidate, with your experiences of especially of your professor, your family members, etc. Over to Sridhar.
Sai Ram, firstly, my sincere prayers and my humble pranams at the lotus feet of Swami. Pray to him that I should remember to call out whatever I have come across in the journey of Sai. I was a commerce student in Chennai when my father was posted there, studying in a college. And one of Swami's devotees, Dr. Radha Swami, he served in Puttaparthi till his last breath after his retirement from the college. And Swami performed his last rites himself. That is the kind of a person I'm talking about. I used to go to his house to learn a difficult subject called casting. And he would give us a time, and I'd be just 5-10 minutes early. So I will be standing at the staircase. That was a time when his house prayers would just get completed. And I would listen to Swami's Aarti, which attracted me most. And then I would peep into his puja room and see Swami and ask, who is this? My professor was very compassionate, loving and caring person. I owe whatever I am today to him. And he would tell me, you will know, you will come to know. Don't worry, now let us start our class. He wouldn't say much, but he would say, you will come to know, don't worry. That is so, but the first thing which attracted me was that bhajans and music in his house. And it remained at the back of my mind. But Swami had entered my father's life much before. Very early, perhaps, when we were small children in the 60s. Yes, we are staunch Vaishnavites, Vadagalai Iyengars, belonging to Hobal Mutt. Even today, we are very much following the traditions of the Ramanujanacharya's teachings. In fact, my father comes from a Purohit's family. We used to live very close to Parsarthi temple in Chennai, and our grounding started there. Yes, we are staunch Vaishnavites with beyond doubt. But the point is, when you get exposed to Swami, rest of the things become secondary, is it not? So that is what I could see in my dad. We had in our altar Swami always, and we used to have, my father used to perform the Laksharchanas to Swami, recite the Suprabhadam in the morning, Sai Suprabhadam, and it became a part of our way of living. So I don't know whether we lost our identity as a staunch Vaishnavite or not, but we have the identity that we are part of Sai family. That is beyond doubt. So my father happened to get posted to different places. He worked very hard, and he was in Andhra Pradesh, during which time he came to know of Swami in the 60s. Then he was in Chennai, and he was in the income tax intelligence wing, and he was assigned the job of handling what is famously known as Sarkaria Commission, inquiring into some thing about a political party and their leaders. And he diligently did his work, and there was change of governments, and all the good work done by him turned against him. The party ensured that he was thrown out of Tamil Nadu jurisdiction, and he had a punishment posting, and he wanted to simply resign. He was devastated and depressed, but he wouldn't express it outside, but he was. In fact, he had, because of his good works, he superseded about 294 officers and got into a senior promotion, and the political party reversed it through political influence. He should have, I would have crashed, but I saw my dad. He came to Swami and said, I have had enough. I want to quit. I want to resign. Swami said in so many words, Emi pichi pattinda neeku, neelanti manchi officers kavali. Continue. You will get the posting you want. Go back. And he surrendered to Swami and said, yes, I will only go and represent my case. So he went to Delhi, met the chairman of the Central Board of Direct Taxes and said, I wanted to quit, but this is what has happened. Then the chairman said, you are a blue-eyed boy of the group, and we will give you any posting to any place you want other than Tamil Nadu because of the political pressure. It is not that we wanted to give you a punishment posting, but I have the privilege in me to sanction you a place you want. And he immediately asked for Bangalore, and that is how he got posted in 79 to the Bangalore jurisdiction. He would then go to Swami every now and then, the Thursdays and Sundays. There was one gentleman, his colleague in the department, another devotee, LSS Chakravarti, and he's no more. And he was also instrumental in connecting our family with Sai family. He would take us in his Fiat car in the winding roads to Whitefield those days. Very difficult those days. It used to take a long time. And we used to enjoy Swami's Darshan. And they had Thursday bhajans and Sunday bhajans in their house in Jayanagar, 3rd block. And we used to regularly go to his house. And Swami would acknowledge all that, and that's where my father met Dr. Padmanabhan and others, and he was very devotedly involved with whatever he was doing. Then often he would visit both Parthi as well as Swami used to come often to Whitefield those days before this flyovers were not there. And he used to sit under a tree at the adjacent to the gate, and we used to sit in very close proximity. Of course, we would go 2 hours, 3 hours before Swami's darshan time and take advantage place and go through the bhajans and all that. It was a great experience. That is how my exposure to Swami started with Chakravarti sir's house bhajans and meeting Kamla auntie, Padmanabhan sir, including Geeta, who was very young those days. And it was all around 70s. In fact, I used to take, I was just a CA student then, and used to take a lot of interest in decorating the place with the flower decorations. And a lot of Swami's sayings I would write and stencil cut it, frame it, and put all around the hall. And those words of Swami were very having deep impact in my mind. And it revealed more in course of time, but those days, that's how I started. And then I also had opportunities to, there was one advocate by name Prasad. He was handling a few organizational activities of Swami and the trust, and they had a lot of tax issues, and his father used to assist them. So he used to go with Mr. Prasad to Parthi often, and I used to accompany. In one event in Whitefield, Swami was performing the Upanayanam of Prasad's son, Advocate Prasad sir's son. And it was a event of its kind. I saw with my own eyes Swami blessing them with akshatas coming out of his palm continuously in different colors, and the materialization he did of the thread, so many things, including a watch, whatnot. And it was a spectacle for a young kid like me to see for the first time. Swami himself administered the Gayatri mantra for this boy. It was a great sight. I've also seen Swami performing marriages in Whitefield. All this happened because thanks to this Prasad sir, LSS Chakravarti sir, and all that. We had that nice chance to see all that. About Vaishnavites, I don't want to say much more, but all that I know is there is only one God and He is omnipresent. This is the teaching which appealed to the family most, and there is no looking back after that. Yeah, when it comes to my family, Swami had given a lot of interviews to my dad, to the family also. It was in one of them I would like to recall. That is in the late 70s, early 80s. Swami used to visit some of the devotees' house those days, and we would get a chance to see him. And my dad took me to one of those visits where he called my dad, and then my dad said, my son has also come. Call him, he said. And then he made me sit very close to his chair and started asking a lot of questions. ఏం చేస్తున్నావు స్వామి సిఏ చేస్తున్నానండి, he said. ఇంటరా ఫైనలా, he would ask. Swami, I am doing final CA. Oh, very good. ఇప్పుడు 3 groups చేశారు కాదు? It's, 2 groups have been made into 3, is it not? He said. I don't know, that's perhaps the way Swami wants to tell me that he knows everything going around me. Yes, Swami, yes. And at that time, without my knowledge, bluttered, Swami, I'm very, very scared. Scared of what? He asked. Em bayamo? Exam and naku bayanga undi. Why scared? I am there, no. Nenu unnan kada. Prepare cheyi. Do your bit. And he blessed me with Pada Namaskarams. This was around July of 1980 in one devotee's house. And sometime later, I want to recall another instance of my family where my eldest brother, he developed some sickness which I can't recall much. And my parents were extremely disturbed because his marriage proposal was being discussed and fixed around that time, wedding, and if this fellow would get into sickness and all that. So there was a lot of emotional dialogues and discussions at home. And but my mother was a bit disturbed, to put it mildly. Then my father took all of us to Puttaparthi. We met Swami. Swami luckily called us for the interview. And in the family interview, he literally reproduced all the exchanges and dialogues at home the previous day. And he demystified our fears and said, no, this is an ordinary thing. He gave some vibhuti and said also take some B complex tablets. Everything will get cured. Things will go on well. So that was Swami's love and compassion for us, which I cannot but remember always. Then the wedding got fixed. And as a first thing, my father went to Whitefield to meet Swami and give him the first invitation and take his blessings. And so my Swami called him in and then asked, Ekkadra ani see abbai? And my father came back home overjoyed in cloud 9. He would come and tell us, this fellow will become a CA for sure. You know why? Swami has already pronounced him as CA. And that's the kind of blessing, psychological support, and divine assurance behind my professional career, I would say. So then my children, they all got into Balavikas. My daughter almost cleared every examination that came her way, and she's now a practicing lawyer. And the son also blossomed into a nice bhajan singer, and he's also pursuing his music studies. So we have had quite a few eventful recalls of this kind. When it comes to dreams, I did not get one single dream, but my wife, she got a dream one day, Swami coming home to have Chakra Pongal. These Vaishnavites are famous for this, Chakra Pongal at home, and Swami would partake that, enjoy it, and bless her and go. So these are the few instances where the family were involved. And there are quite a few more, but I think I will pause here.
Thank you, sir. Really beautiful. You once told that you were skeptical also about Bhagawan. No, having reached or having received a lot of proximity, just like many others, you were quite skeptical about his divinity, about his maybe materialization and all that stuff. So, how did you, overcome such thoughts? How did you finally, get convinced that he was not a magician, but he was indeed divine?
I was skeptical, no doubt. I was skeptical from a different perspective. I would not want to reduce him to a magician. I didn't get into that low level of thinking. But surely, what was kept? See, I was a kid when I first got exposed to Swami, early 20s. Whenever I went to Whitefield and Patti, I could see many of the rich and famous getting a lot of reach and proximity to Swami. It was my immaturity to think of and get into some negative opinion. Yeah, I too had whether a thought whether this hair is real or is it a wig. I even try to touch. I don't know. It's all stupid to look at from inside behind. But that's what I was. I'm sorry about it. I was blessed with so much of opportunity to see and meet and a lot of proximity too, but I did not use it for my spiritual growth. Instead, I was you see, this is what was ordained at that point of time. Slowly, things start revealing in my mind that Swami deals with everybody, every kind of person, and has objective to do something which each one of them in their transition, in their journey. Today at this age, I would say it is none of my business to judge, but those days I was. With the passing of time, I observed the students, the institution, the discipline, the seva activities, and I slowly comprehended that Swami was the greatest giver on earth. I simply stopped focusing on miracles, materializations, etc. It did not matter anything to my mind. The biggest miracle is his compassion and love. I remember my father telling me, focus on Swami when the discourses happen. You will realize that there are messages in the discourse answering your specific questions. And that used to be my kind of, what do you say, test and experiments with Swami. I used to listen to his discourse. I loved his Telugu more than the translation. The translations could never be as same as what Swami said. And I did realize that what he talks, what he said, related to many, and slowly it paid off that I was a skeptic. My father was also blessed with this, in 1997, just before my son was born. there was this Paduka trust and this silver Padukas of Swami. When it came to my dad, Swami stepped into the Padukas, gave him a Pada Namaskar, and he said, "Keep this with you and it will protect you till your end." Those Padukas are still there at my home and we worship even today. And he was the one who put a lot of values into the grandchildren. What I could not do, he did. And towards the end, my son had a chance, not once but twice in 2010, to sit in front of Swami and
Sai
render bhajans.
Suman, I'm unable to hear anything.
Suman, are you able to hear?
Yes, sir, we are able to hear actually. Maybe any issue from your side? Can you just log in again?
So I'll just finish this. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My son Hari Krishna, as part of the Balavikas, would be able got an opportunity to sing in front of Swami once in a Little Champs program and another in, I don't know, I don't recall, but and Swami's blessings to him, even today we can see its impact. He is totally tuned to him and always he would not sing movie songs or filmy stuff and all that. Only Swami bhajans and Carnatic music. He would not, but those values he picked up from his Balavikas teachers. And that's all about my family members and their experiences. My daughter, she would go to Whitefield early in the morning during our this anniversary celebration, Sai Gitanjali anniversary from the third anniversary used to be done in Whitefield, and we all were given cards and passes and all that. And our groups were allowed to sit right in front to render the bhajans and all that. My daughter also had the divine opportunity to come under the eyes of Swami and be blessed. What can I say? I can only thank my stars for all that. Sai Ram.
Wonderful, sir. So no life is no like bed of roses. So every one of us have our own challenges, our own hurdles. Sometimes it would be so much. I mean, life throws kind of such challenges. It is sometimes our faith is shaken. So were there any such situations in your life where your faith was put to test, where you questioned whether really Swami existed or anything of that sort existed? How did you handle such situations, and how, if so, how we should develop such fortitude?
This is the most difficult question to answer. Yes, I had hurdles, challenges. Life is not bed of roses. It was never bed of roses any time before and not even now. When it comes to faith, I am well grounded right from early days. Swami taught the first God for you is your parents, then your teacher, then only God. And my parents were my first God. This question is difficult to handle. I will get emotional, but I'll try my best to hold myself together. Yes, there was quite a lot of challenges. In the professional front, I did not have any challenge. And thanks to my teachers, I was put on the road, the right track, and I finished my professional examinations well in time. And I had no challenges, I would say. I am made differently. I was not in the rat race in terms of raising assets and bank balances and things like that, but I would want to do my professional work wholesomely and with an ethical practice. I had challenges in the sense I want to be truthful. The client would want me to do something else, and I have lost many clients, but I just don't care. Let them go. But I have hung on to the principles which I learned from Swami, and I hang on to that even today. When it comes to personal life, it turned for bad around 1991 when I was a victim of a bad train accident. And I had 10 odd compound fractures from skull to the feet. Every part of the body was broken. And literally in Martha's hospital in the emergency, when they were cutting open my clothes, the nurses there in Tamil dialect said, "Idu put a case, this is gone, this won't last for long." And in fact, they were arranging for the mortuary and all that. It was as bad as that. My daughter was just 3 years. She also got badly injured. The wife died on spot, which I came to know much later in the hospital. And rebuilding was not a challenge. It was, I don't know, I can't put it in words. But my greatest incentive was my daughter. So I hung on and worked very hard to come out of the difficult times. But my parents and my siblings stood like rock. Even my clients did not desert me. It took me a couple of years to even come on my feet and become normal. And it took some more time. And then things happened. But the hand of God was there behind. And I could see that I will also get back to normalcy at some point of time. I bid for my time, but my faith did not flutter as much. It is because of my parents who said the worst is over for you. Some people have reverses late in their life. You have had a bit too soon, too early, maybe unfortunate, but all of them stood by, including in the accident site. I would want to share. Unknown people pulled me out of debris, and I could just remember my phone numbers and ask them to inform the family and all that, which they did. So help came from different directions. That is what the hand of the divine is all about. Slowly, over a period of time, I could recover and stand on my feet, which was uh, a miracle. Miracle is an understatement to say that, because my pelvis, my spine, my skull, everything was badly injured. It is just a divine help that I did not get into paralysis. And the doctors would say your body has got such a great healing power that you have done very well, and you are picking up much faster than we would expect. And all these comes from faith. The heart test is on. Just how I handled it or not, I wouldn't say I handled or did anything. It happened. I happened to be there. If at all, I would say who handled it. It was my parents and my siblings, and I owe it to them, including my clients. Some of them would take me every day to the hospital for physiotherapy and bring me back to office and drop me back home. This they did for 6 months. That's a kind of love and compassion I got from people around me. Even today, I enjoy that. So I would say, while yes, a reverse is there, but Swami gives you the strength to face it. And once you learn to face it, good times will come. Everything has to pass. Everything did pass in my case. Uh, yes, even when parents got old and their health were challenging issues. My mother lost her sight and she was blind for last 3 years. She was demented in mind and bedridden, and it is all the hand of Sai that we could pull through the rigors and provide the medical comfort and relief till the soul reached the lotus feet. And each one was a challenge. But then, when it came to my parents, I enjoyed the challenge. I did not feel that it's a punishment or an obligation. I thought, how many people will get the opportunity to serve their parents? I got, and I lived with my parents till their last breath. And challenges are way of life, and we must learn to face the challenges. And on hindsight, you would see everything happened for the good. Sai Ram.
So very moving. It's indeed a great blessing to have parents like that. Generally, parents being aged, a lot of chances are there that they lose courage, but they became your strength, your clients and friends and siblings. It's amazing. I think blessings came in that way. So now coming to about your children. So both of your children are I think Balavikas alumni. Uh, Most of the time I heard that Balavikas is easy entry pass for Bhagawan to enter into a family, through a child. So especially through Balavikas, what was the kind of atmosphere being brought into home by children? And I want you to little more elaborate on the significance of Balavikas and value-based education to current parents, today's parents. Generally, their bent of mind is to raise children to earn more, or more successful in career, and somehow be in the top in this world, or corporate world, or any in these competitive worlds. He must be standing out from others or something like that. So in this world, to such parents, how would you kind of uh, elaborate the significance of Balvikas and value-based education?
Suman, I would say it's slightly differently. It is Balavikas is the entry for the family into Swami and not the other way around.
Some people even say that Swami enters like that. I mean, to someone who
Yeah,
not
I
into Sai
understand.
fold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my case, we were in the Sai fold for quite long. So I would agree with Subbu sir. Yeah, but my perspectives here are, you see, one of the greatest things that happened is Sai Geetanjali came into existence around 1997. Swami himself came and inaugurated and blessed the place. Swami again came for the first anniversary. My son was just born. He was born in March, and this happened in May, if I remember it correctly. The place was full, and the road adjacent, coming in between in this free school, and so also covered with shamianas, and we could. I couldn't get into the mandir at all. I was sitting outside under the shamiana, which was covered. Swami, after finishing in the mandir, he came out in his compassion. He came close to all the devotees sitting around the mandir, went around, turned back, and he came in the same direction where I was sitting. He stopped there near me, touched me on my head, and blessed me. And I wonder what punya I must have done to get that privileged blessing. After that day, I could say things started falling in place for my second journey commenced. Before I get into this Balavikas, I'm just a preamble for me. As I said sometime early, because of my Professor Radha Swami, I developed a taste for teaching. Professor was engaged in finance and commerce research guide at Puttaparthi. He gave me an opportunity to come to Puttaparthi and teach the students. I also became an external examiner during his time. And in one such occasion, he took me into the Kulwant hall. He was a senior professor, and therefore he had the privileges for sitting in the, near the Ganesha where Swami used to sit for darshan. And I had the opportunity to have a very, very close darshan of Swami in the portico of Kulwant Hall near the Ganesha idol. Swami came near, Professor told Swami that, hey, Swami, this is my student Sridhar, and he has come to teach in our institute. Swami gave a stare and looked at me, talked to me for some time, stood near me for quite some time, and allowed me to take Pad Namaskar and blessed me. That was a blissful, transforming experience. Something happened inside me. I don't know how to express, but everything changed after that. These two children were put to Balavikas not by me, but my dad. Kamala auntie was one of the pioneers of the Balavikas, and she ensured that these two kids came to Balavikas. Both of them did very well. Thanks to the encouragement they received from the Balavikas gurus. Yes, this is a very competitive world. There is a lot of pressure on the children. What they go through is sometimes very, very painful to observe. In our case, Balavikas was the balancing factor. Among other things, they used to the Sunday routine. They would look forward to the sessions, although initially they were resistant. And it was a very, very strong grounding for them. As the children stepped into their higher education, they did lose the strings of Balavikas training. They went astray here and there. But I can assure you from our personal experience as parents that the seeds planted by the Balavikas teachers in these sessions there did sprout, and the values are preserved, and the children are able to discriminate and judge the perspectives of life, and they come back strongly into the Sai family fold. Uh, oh, my point is, everything is not about career ambitions, academic achievements, and career goals. They are necessity, but at what cost also matters, and this has to be thought of by the parents from an early stage. They need to carefully balance the career versus home. Charity begins at home, and if the parents do not take initiative to add value at the appropriate time, there is no point blaming the educational institutions. I am an educationalist myself. I teach in different places. I see different kind of students, and I always love to be in their midst. Their innocence is amazing and mind-boggling for me. Some of them, even though they are 20, 25, or even 30, just they do not know what they do not know. Whereas our children in Balavikas, as a very relaxed way of learning, the teachers put so much value into them. They understand the concept of unity. They understand the concept of all are one, be alike to everyone in practice. They slowly learn the art of seva and blossom into good Sai youth. And I have seen so many of them, like our Ravi is one. It is phenomenal to see these children. So many times the elders who have not had the Sai experience or are not part of the Sai fold may not know what this Balavikas is all about. And some of them send the children to Balavikas only to get a breathing time for themselves at home on a Sunday morning. It's the attitude which matters. This is very sacred. And if they learn, see, reverence to elders, reverence to teachers, obedience, ability to listen, ability to contemplate, including they are taught things like uh, light meditation and things like that. It's phenomenal. It starts at an early stage. And if you start early, as Swami would say, start early, drive slowly, reach safely. The life journey becomes that much smoother in the sense these Balavikas children would know how to handle things, how to face, because much of the mythological stories are taught by these teachers with so much intensity and devotion. It gets implanted in the minds as a value. And I know at least I've seen and met a few who do not know much of our culture, our heritage, our values, which are what are brought into it is, how would I say, because I would say we are blessed to have somebody of the type of Padmanabhan sir, Kamala auntie, and the Vasanta teacher. All these people have put so much value into the children. It's only experience can tell you what can be caught cannot be taught. You must allow the children to get the experience. Only then you will experience. Many a times I've also heard children going back and telling the parents and the grandparents what they learned. It has happened in my house also. My father would ask my son particularly, what did you learn today? What was taught to you? Tell me this, tell me that. And then my dad will add some more to it, and then this fellow will get more enthused and excited. And the next time when he go to the Balavikas class, when they're asked, he would come up with what he heard from his grandfather, and it made a very great synergy. So it is mutual. The family has to support the children and also exploit the infrastructure given by our Swami in terms of this value system, which has no parallel anywhere, I suppose. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much. So now coming to Seva. So what's the significance of Narayan Seva in your life? What makes you come every Sunday to Sai Gitanjali? Other than Subbu sir's coffee or masala chai? At least throw some light on the need for Seva in every person's life. Why Seva is required in one's life?
It's a very deep question you have put in a very light way. Swami's life message is to be of use to the society. To my mind, he is the greatest giver. In reflection, to be a giver is not easy. You give your time. That itself is a great thing, to lend your ear to somebody who is in difficulty, or just to help somebody with something. The seva need not necessarily be in one structured form only. But honestly, I just did not know anything. That's a raw truth. One of the tragedies that happened in my home was early exit of my brother, the second brother, in 2014. He was just turning around 60, I guess, by that time, and he had a few years to retire, but he passed away. It had a very deep impact. I was grieving, and my father was there. He was also very badly affected. And my father also suggested, let us do some Narayan Seva. He knew, but I did not know that there was some Narayan Seva in Sai Gitanjali on a Sunday morning. None of these. It was my wife who went to inquire, as she was a part of the Balavikas, and she would find that so-and-so to be approached and they will help and all that. So I came into to do the Narayan Seva as and that exposure. Around that time, I used to hear a lot on Radio Sai about various talks, various experiences, and Thursday satsangs and all that. And in one of them, one of the speaker would say emphasis that Sundays are not meant to get late. lays around and things like that. That's not our culture. You must use the time to do something to the society. Service should be a way of life. These are Swami's teachings, but somehow it crossed my mind only quite late. Better late than never, I started. One of the things which appealed to my mind was there is no boss, there is no subordinate, there is no age bias, there is no gender bias. A cluster of people assembling regularly and doing with lot of joy, with lot of commitment. And I am not attempting any flattery here. It is truth that the anecdotes which Suman would share in the Narayan Seva, the thought of the day, the bhajans, it actually composed my mind every week. Let the week start with the divine. My Sunday, if I miss my week. I don't want to miss the Sunday, so I would somehow ensure my schedules, my travel, my teaching, my professional commitments are all kept at base at home. Everybody knows that Sridhar is not available on Sundays. Sunday mornings, definitely no. Because I enjoyed being there. Over a period of time, I felt Sai Gitanjali is my home. Subbu sir would say, this is a sacred place. Everywhere Swami has stepped here. And we should be expressing gratitude for what we are receiving. So it was very motivating. It was self-fulfilling. It was more it's seva would mean somebody else benefited. In my case, I was benefiting because certain discipline set in, and I was not accountable to anybody. This is no comparison. There is no judgment. There is no acknowledgement. There is no prices or none of these. It is just work. And the work by itself is fulfilling. And every time you get to connect with Swami in one way or the other, and a lot of things you get to hear, a lot of things you share. Also, we, over a period of time, after sheer love and compassion, we also have some friendly banters and love for each other. I don't know, it has become part of my psyche, it has become part of my nature, it has become part of my living. I wouldn't want to, in fact, when my parents passed away and my house near the Sai Gitanjali had to be sold, one of the things which I had to have my own rooftop, we ensured that we stay as close to Sai Gitanjali as possible. And again, that is Swami's clear blessing that I am in a place where there's a community and many of them are also Sai devotees, and there are a lot of exchanges, and it is great. So yes, Narayan Seva has a huge impact on my personal mind. I also in the early days used to go for distribution and see how these young guys would move all around the place, search for the Narayanas, give the packets and come. And I've seen experiences where some of the Narayanas would ask for, where is this man? He has not come, asking for Subbu sir. In the sense, he was able to connect with them with that emotion and love. This unconditional love, inquiring, how are you? What's happening with you? How can I help you? Is everything all right with you? Can I get you something? These Narayanas look forward to that morning eagerly, anxiously, and they express so much love. and gratitude. One seeing is believing. So these things have had a massive impact on my mind. To give is one of the greatest thing we can ever develop in this conditioned living, in this material world. I want promotion, I want increment, I want job, I want this, I want that. We are always in the want mode and not in the giving mode. Um, but Narayan Seva has taught us the joy of giving. And once in a way, in a month or so, we do get a chance to cook some food for the Narayan Seva as Annapurni, my wife, would do. I would join her to do. And the expression of my wife is what I'm sharing with you. She would say, when it comes to Narayan Seva, Prabhakar sir will call me only when I am in a comfortable position. Uh, And I would say yes, and I will always pray to Swami that I should not say no to Prabhakar sir, and it should go without any problems. And everything as if engineered from somewhere, things will fall into place, whether it is getting the milk or getting the ingredients for the curd rice or the cooking vessels and the packing, and everything will fall into place. We would get up early in the morning and taking bath prayers, and then we will start this. It will end so smoothly without any and there we saw the hand of God. And what we have learned is you simply have to make yourself available. If you are available, rest he does. You don't have to do anything. My wife keeps saying, I don't do anything, everything happens. This is amazing. And so this is what we have learned. And also, like you said, we used to have birthday cakes being cut, the pongal where Subbu sir and I are very fond of. Yes, the tea and the coffee and the biscuits, these are all just fun. But really, in fact, those annual celebrations where Suman, you used to bring so many goodies from home to eat. We have enjoyed every bit of it. That bonding is something cannot be expressed in words. The bonding becomes a inner feeling. It gives you a psychological strength that you are no more alone. You are always in the midst of the Sai family, and things will happen. You just that window of joy, I would call, is not comparable to any other entertainment or excitement or euphoria, whatever you'd like to call. That morning Sunday Narayan Seva is the greatest boon Swami has given us, and I try to enjoy as much as I can till my limbs stay in place. Saira.
Beautiful, sir. So now coming to your profession. So you are a chartered accountant and teacher too. So both the professions are quite challenging and responsible in their own way. How did your devotion to Sai help in especially experiencing Swami in your professional front? Earlier, you used to share in our study circles some kind of incidents where you used to experience kind of oneness with the divine while teaching, while taking class in IIM, something like that. So, could you, please throw more light on such experiences uh, where you had experienced some kind of divine intervention in your professional life?
As I said, I had a great professional journey, which is complete. I'm very contented about it. Somehow I have put material wealth as a secondary aspect, and my pursuit of my career was not to make money, but to be of service to people. In very early part of my practice, I have done plenty of work and would not even bill the clients because they were startups, they are struggling, they can't afford to pay and things like that. It's not that I would go to greener pastures and only work with people who will give me money. Rather, I would like to resolve and bring some peace through my professional work. So I thought my profession is to give and not to take. Inspired by my professor Dr. Radha Swami, whose name I'm taking so many times. When he used to teach in our college classroom in Madras, then now Chennai, the students were not very cultured like in our Sai institutions. They used to make noise and things like that. But when professor would enter the class and start his class, there would be pin drop silence. And that's because of the quality of his teaching and the compassion which he used to bring in the course of his teaching. He will make a very difficult concept look very simple, take a lot of effort to bring it to expression which is very lucid and easy to understand and comprehend. That touched my heart. Then something in my mind told me, instead of judging other professors and calling them right and wrong, why don't you start teaching? So that is how I developed a taste for teaching. And teaching is one side of my coin, and the other side of the coin is my professional work. They support each other, to put it in very simple words. Why I go to IIM is because the subjects which I teach change every day in terms of the legal parlance. And it is like playing a football game where the goalpost keeps moving as much as the players. So IIMs cannot handle this through their academic portal because the professors would not be able to keep pace with the practitioner. So they would call me to share practice experience in the classroom. So I would, as a student of Sai, my idea is to give. I would share everything I know and tell my participants about ways and methods to resolve without becoming victim of fear, without being a victim of people who exploit them. So I would tell them what I could to help them. So that is how these are contemporary supporting each other. And when I teach in executive education programs to entrepreneurs, to engineers and people, senior people, they would express their issues and also give their experiences, which benefited my practice. I would go back to my office to implement the new learnings. So it was a learning always. And there is no end to it. I realized I'm a student of life. Every moment is a learning experience. It is only when you keep your unbiased mind open and antennas sharp, you can pick up so many things that you can implement. Generally, what I do is I would listen to experts and then only go to read. Because when I listen, I get to figure out what's happening, and then I would read, and then I would research my own and then present in a different way. So that is how my things happen. The values I learned in the Sai fold are the ones which sustain me. I simply refuse to bribe. I will not get into unethical practices. I would not bend the law to excite the mind of my client. You're wrong. I have the guts ability, which I developed over a period of time with Swami inside me, to say a no for a no, instead of trying to find a way out to beat and bend the law. Because Swami always emphasized in more than one occasion, in many places, follow the law of the land. Don't bend the law. Bend your body, bend your mind, but don't play with law. Follow the law to the T. So I do that. And people who have known me over a period of time, they would see the difference and they stay with me. And because of them, I am whatever I am today as a practitioner. So the values, I would want to share this one aspect when it comes to the profession. This I was in one program, and a instructor, a spiritual guru was doing that program, and he was talking about values, and I was a young brat. I stood up and said, look, you can talk here. I come from a profession where every day I have to face this nonsense. How do I handle this? And that learned elderly person, he said, I sympathize with you. You are not alone. There are many people along with you, but I can give you some tips. And my mind was open to listen to him. He said, look in a scale of 1 to 10. See where you are. Doing what your community of professionals are doing in terms of collusion, bribes, this, that, whatever. Don't tell me any of this anymore. You know, you put yourself on a scale of 10. Now, you develop the raw guts to gradually move away from them. And then on hindsight, again see in a scale of 10, if you have moved, not only professionally you're growing, spiritually also you will start growing. And that hit my mind very strong. I would say a no boldly on the face of the person, despite running the risk of being called brash, rude, crude, and things like that. But I wouldn't want to talk sweetly to just get some work and billing, but compromising on values. Since I don't do that, I had more good nights to sleep and wake up with gratitude to Swami that I could carry on with my profession without having to bow my head down in shame for any wrong consciously done. Sai Ram.
Thank you, sir.
Just to add, I was off the call for about 10 minutes thanks to Airtel. One thing that Sridhar sir does is he never takes a politician as a client. I don't know if you already mentioned that.
Yes. No, these are certain principles I have developed. I wouldn't handle a resident welfare association or a club or politicians. These are the people who demand and they always want to fix each other and they will expose each other, and they all have unethical practices. So as a matter of principle, I choose my client. That is true. In a way, what Subbu sir said is right.
So once you told, I mean, I just again going back to the same question.
Yes,
While
yes,
teaching, yeah,
yes, yes,
you
yes.
had. So can you just throw some light on that, where you had experienced
Yeah,
oneness,
yeah.
where you
Sorry.
said that it is not me teaching, it is
Yes.
something else teaching. So I just wanted to.
Yes, true. You see, when you the first principles was that you must tell the student what you know, and don't hold up something to convert the student into a client for tomorrow's billing. So that was my ethical standard. Okay, so uh, also I do a prayer before every session. The subject may be known to me by the back of my hand on my mind, but the prayer is little different. Swami, I'm going into the classroom. Some 60, 70 people are there, anxiously waiting to get something out of me. I connect with the Antaryami Sai and ask him, please take over, not for me, but for the sake of my students. And this I sincerely do in every session. And it was in one instance in IAM, and I was in my zone, and pitch of concentration, and things were flowing in a sequence, in a chronological order, beautifully. Suddenly there was a snap in my concentration due to some distraction, and I went blank. One of the habits which I have developed over a period of time is, when any disturbance happens to me without my knowledge, Sai Gayatri will start. And I was reciting in my mind, Swami, where are you? I am blank. I saw Swami in my classroom in a flash for a moment. Then everything came back to the sequence, and I continued to render my class. And at the break time, some of them were giving me feedback that, hey, sir, you took the session to a different level. We enjoyed. And I'm sure it was not me, it was Swami speaking. Many times it happens that when you are in the zone and when you are connected to Swami and when you do your with deep passion, without craving for self-identity or acknowledgement, the performance happens and it is done by the Antaryami Sai, is what my experience is all about. Sometimes when the same question is asked to me in the break time, in a coffee break or lunch break, I would not be able to render in the same depth, in the same prowess what was there in the class. So I tend to believe it is but his hand, his blessing. Uh, so Swami has infused in me that faith that he is there and he's taking care of everything. So that's I very often experience this. In fact, I had undergone a couple of surgeries in the recent past. One of them was something. I was taken to the operation theater. Surgery was performed. The anesthesia was wearing off. I was brought into the recovery room, and you may call it hallucination or what, I don't know, because I was in anesthetic impact. But I saw Swami. He simply said, I have taken care of everything, you are all right. Like how a doctor would come and say and go, like that. He came, he said, and he left. So these kind of things happen to me. I don't know how to put it in words, but yes. So the Swami Connect is extremely important for me. I have a small photograph of Swami in my place of work. And once I look at him, question of doing anything opposed to ethics is not a possibility at all. And while going into the classroom also, I would have Swami's picture in my pocket, and I would touch and connect with him, and then only render my work. So it unfolds very nicely, very naturally. So it happens. Um, that's my experience, Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, sir. So this can be the example of once I told the pure devotion is nothing but high intelligence. So can I take it an example for this? Because you yourself asked me what exactly it is, but I think you are only the example for that.
No, you are too large-hearted to say that. My devotion several notches down than what is expected. But yes, what is what is. It is better than nothing, you know. So slowly we are in a journey. We are moving. We are transforming. We are equipping ourselves every day. It happens. Yes, I agree with you.
Wonderful, sir. Of late, you are very sincere in attending almost many satsangs, and you have been speaker also in many satsangs. So could you share any few impactful takeaways you had in recent satsangs, which you think you have started implementing in your life, or something which have blown you away? Any few takeaways?
There are quite many. The satsangs reassure, confirm, and solidify your uh, mind, instincts, and faith that you are on the right track. Many things appealed to me. During COVID, you had started that bridge program, and for 20 minutes, people would come and speak on various subjects. It was a great experience. There was this Rudram group in the US, Seattle, and I used to connect with that group and learn to recite Rudram. And it used to happen every day during COVID, and it became a part of my everyday practice of prayers. And a lot of satsangs used to happen during COVID days online. And I don't know, I so much I've learned and so much I've experienced. For example, in one Narayan Seva chatting, Subbu sir said, you must listen to that YouTube program where this Vahini Swadhyaya is being spoken about. about Nakasturi and the speakers and the kind of perspectives they are giving. And I did not have time. And I think either I downloaded or he sent me the clip. It's about 1.5 hours or more. I have this habit with me. I have to travel to IIMs in Ahmedabad, Shillong, Udaipur, Indore. So when I am on the flight, I put this recorded ones plug into my ears, and I don't feel the air journey at all. The episode is over and the plane has landed, kind of a thing. So I heard all their expressions and I got to know that there is so much of work of Swami which we just do not even know. Then from nowhere, this Swahini Swadhyaya was born. Mahendra encouraged us and included us in that satsang. And it became a regular Saturday. Even today, after 2.5 years, we have just taken a break. But otherwise, every Saturday, 7 o'clock, it's satsang time. And like Sunday morning for Narayan Seva, which is Karma Yoga. This Saturday evenings with Mahendra is Jnana Yoga, kind of a thing. Very enjoyable because so much of sharing of Swami's experiences of various devotees, Sai incidents, and makes a lasting impact on me. For example, one of the things of your expression, grace packaged differently, even adverse situations are meant for good. And only when you look at hindsight, you would know it is, after all, grace packaged differently. These kind of things. There was another guy, one, I forgot names, but that speaker was saying, do whatever you want. Be comfortable in doing whatever you want. But just add Sai to everything. And he was explaining further. He was saying it's like adding sugar to your milk or adding a flavor to your coffee. You know, that impacted my mind so much. I wouldn't want to do anything without adding Sai to it. And at the end of my work, I would always like to recall with gratitude that it has ended up well. But it's endless, Suman, but many things touched me. For example, Swami's compassion to the animals which had drawn water for him during his 10-day sojourn in some program touched my heart. Swami leads by example and goes and touches these buffaloes and the animals and thanks them, expresses the gratitude for the work they have done and that he will come back to bless them again. I don't know. So you get tuned. It's actually the omnipresence of Swami can be felt in depth only when you get tuned. And if you have to do the tuning, it doesn't happen so easily. And you must develop these methods of getting to connect with him every now and then we will actually start seeing the hand of the divine, which we don't see in the normal course. Everything is taken for granted. And lastly, I would say the one of the things which moved me most was Prem Anush's talk in this 98th birthday. Some clip I saw on YouTube. It was phenomenal. It was moving. It was touching, and I was traveling by road from Pune airport to Lonavala, and the distance was about 2.5 hours. But I was simply switched on to this program. I didn't know the journey at all, and I was lost in listening to the. He was explaining about Swami's definition of um, Chidakasha, the three Akashas, and phenomenal. And what happens is when you sit on a meditation the next morning, these things start coming up in your mind. What you heard in those satsangs. You don't have to really do much. It will print in your subconscious. And that is what will come out and emote at the appropriate time. The reverse is equally true if we are exposed to only the negative news, the political news, who did wrong to whom, who shortchanged whom. These violent and negative things also get imprinted in our subconscious and emote out at the wrong time. So I have a choice to make. So I use my time just to switch to Sai, and it makes a huge difference. So satsangs have been a sustaining influence in the recent past. The COVID did not scare me. I could do all that I could do, yet I could enjoy so much of time with Sai. What more can anyone ask for? Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. My final question. So how do you describe your life without Sai, if at all you are asked to describe?
Food without salt, sweet without sugar, bland, dry and empty. Sai adds the spice of life for me. It is more inner and psychological. A great sense of confidence and assurance is there, man. He will take care of you, not to worry. So that feeling, I do lose my balance. I get angry, I get perturbed, I get flabbergasted. But the moment I re-switch to Sai, everything comes back to normal. So I have learned that these odd things of life will occur to everybody every time. But I have the Antaryami Sai in me to turn it around and push it away and keep my journey smooth. So I would say life without him is empty, in a negative sense. Life with Sai is complete. Sai Ram.
Sir. Thank you very much. It's been wonderful evening. So I'm done with my questions. If our listeners have any questions, kindly you can put forward your questions. So open to the forum now. Yes, sir, Vasudevan, sir, you can. You can ask your question.
He has to unmute himself.
So kindly unmute yourself. You can ask your question.
Sai Sridhar sir, we are grateful to you for sharing your wonderful experience. And I'm sure, your parents, grandparents, and perhaps even the previous generations would have deposited enough of devotion and dedicated service to the Lord in some form or the other. But as you said during the course, the Lord is only one, the Almighty is only one. So when he took avatar in this Sai form, you had the benefit of his grace flowing towards you and your family. You said in the beginning that there was some the staunch Vaishnavite, Gokulam followers, and still you accepted Sai, and once you accepted Sai, you didn't look back. But you would have had some situations where there were some contradictions and conflict or criticisms. in the ritual, perhaps I wouldn't comment, but in the ritualistic Gobulamat or Vaishnavite practices versus Sai practice. And that would have been clarified by Swami to you or your father at some point of time or the other, the confusion in your mind or the, can you, if you have you had any such instances, and can you share it with us, please?
Honestly, I have not had great instances to share. I can tell you one thing. Recently, I was in Tirupati, and I was in going for the seva with the mutt. We call it jeer.
Yes.
And we have to go in a particular manner with our Tirunamams and Angavastrams, Veshti and all that. At the point of entrance, one of them saw my, what do you call this? On my ring finger, Swami's ring.
Okay.
And no, you cannot take this in. I said, if there is no choice, I would walk away. I don't care. For me, a living God who had guided me all through my life, from whom I have received everything, is more valuable to me than anything else. But then, as Providence would have it, somebody says, no, you take it out and give it to somebody, and when you come back, you can. It is just a formality. So these kind of small little things happen. But I want to tell you, the same Swami during after that Atirudra Mahayajnam and all that, towards the end, there was 2, 3, 4 days program on only Alvars.
Okay.
And our Lord had led by example, Sarvadharma Priya, and therefore I have no repulsion to anything or other extreme either. But born as a Vaishnavite, I remain one. My anchoring to the Vaishnavite philosophy does not change. But it is only strengthened by Swami's teaching, and it doesn't get to prove anything right and wrong. One of the greatest things I have learned from Sai culture is to master the ability not to judge. If you refrain from being judgmental and allow an event to pass, a heat or cold situation, it will pass. If we linger on to it, we take positions. If we take positions, we go opposite to the fundamental teaching of Swami of unity. It becomes a division, your group versus my group. There is a great difference between religion and spirituality. Religion is absolutely a personal practice at home. And when I am out, I am a Sai person, that's all. Doesn't matter to me. But I found that, you see, I also had as a child and all that, my children taught me, for example, my son, he will always pour the Vaishnavite Tirunamam on his forehead. My father used to do. But I used to avoid it. I would sport it at home, wash it away while going to office and things like that. But then I said, you are not true to yourself. You are over conscious of being observed, judged, and things like that. Now I have lost all that, sir. I don't bother who thinks what about me. I have no scope to indulge in all that. I simply wear I sport my Tirunamam, and I tell my prayers. Without Vishnu Sahasranamam, I won't get out of the house. I won't eat a meal, or I won't take a coffee in the morning without my prayers, Sandhyavandanam and Vishnu Sahasranamam. Without that, the day does not start. But these are all at home. That's about it. But in a place of work, I still I don't now wash my forehead and all that. I'd stop doing all that.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
It is evolving over a period of time. It is conviction that what you are, you are. That's about it.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Because why I asked this question is, I'm almost placed on the similar situation as you are, and Swami had given me a Rudraksha. Okay, I am a Vaishnavit attached to Agavula Mat also. I just Suman, I'll just take 2 minutes more. And so he gave a Rudraksha and asked me to wear it. Earlier, first time he gave it and keep it, he said. See, Swami's words are very pregnant in meaning. So keep it, I kept, and then somewhere I lost. I didn't ask for one because I said, I thought, you wanted to give. If you want to give again, you will give. Second time when it was given, he asked me to wear it. Now, if I am wearing it, I mean, I cannot go to Agabala Matam and I mean, they won't like it. Okay, prostrating before our GF. So what I used to do is, I'll take it, I'll wear it, but when I enter the mat, I will tell Swami, Swami, they may not like. I follow your principle, hurt never. I don't want to hurt them, so I'll keep you in my pocket. So I used to keep it in my pocket or bag, and then go and do it. And then once I finish it, I'd come back. Same experience I've had with the GSAY just the other day before yesterday in Tirupati. I was in Tirumala, and one of them said that, good that you didn't wear your Rudraksha mala. I kept it in my room and went because I know that Swami and Vishnu or all are same. There's only one God, but I don't want to hurt their feelings. And when I want to enjoy the darshan of same Mahavishnu, same Sai in Balaji, if I have to honor this route, I said, okay, I'm not compromising, but at the same time, I'm following Sai. So I kept it in the room and went. So I had the doubt whether I was doing wrong. But time and again, Swami has clarified in some form or the other that, I'm right in, at least I feel I'm right in what I'm doing. So Swami is always with us to guide. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sridhar, sir. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Thank you, sir.
Suman, can I
Yes, sir.
add on
Yes.
something? Yeah. Firstly, Sridhar sir, the professor in you shows all the time in these hour and a half that I've been listening. Words fail to even comment on what you said. So it's been very, very knowledgeable. For me, these Sundays, Suman, Sridhar sir, and Prasanna sir are the only seniors to me currently. And they bring in so much of wisdom, during this Sunday. Just the 1 hour that we are there, to the extent that I'm able to call Sridhar sir and ask him anything where there is, let's say, um, a doubt, and then he patiently tells me. And what I learned very, very much in these conversations with Sridhar sir is that he always wants to give the benefit of doubt to the other person. This was not always what I was doing in the past, but slowly I'm learning that putting yourself in the other person's shoes, and that really helps in resolving an issue, dropping off your ego, trying to understand the other person, and so on. It's just one aspect, but somehow we are all blessed that Sridhar sir is with us Sunday after Sunday and always available on the telephone for his guidance. Thank you, sir. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Thank you. Madam, yeah, you can ask your question. Somebody raised.
Sai Ram, Sridhar, sir. Here.
Yeah. Yes, sir, please.
Thanks to Swami for keeping me with all these very much, very heartfelt Sai devotees. Very much as with Swami. Thanks to Swami for keeping me in association with all of this elite group. Thanks. My question, sir, to you, Sridhar sir, and thanks to Sridhar sir for guiding me and correcting me wherever I'm, wherever I need an improvement, taking the steps of, in the form of Swami, he is correcting me. Thanks to Swami and thanks to Sridhar sir. And happy to inform you, sir, Sridhar sir. I hail from the place which is just 40 kilometers away from Ahobilam. So I born and brought up there only, studied. Very much connected to the Ahobilam also. Though since it is keep coming up in the discussion, so just telling this. And one question to you, Sridhar sir. Out of all these satsangas, out of your personal experiences in good and difficult periods of your life, did any time, any time is you had a kind of disconnect with the Swami, or I can say questioned Swami why it is for me? Is such kind of situation any time has occurred? That is one. If not, what was your kind of reactions when there is a difficult time has come? I know, I understood there is a great difficult time has come. During that time, how was your connect with Swami? If I put in the right words, I have to put in the right words.
The time when those difficult patch of life happened, I was young. I was about 34. Now I'm 67. I did not have the maturity of mind what I have now. But on hindsight, I can tell you a few things that come what may, what has to happen will necessarily happen, whether you are tuned to Sai or not. In this Karma Bhumi, we have to face what is destined to be faced, and there is no choice. The suffering, as you may call it, is a normal eventuality. But what I have learned is the grace of God, the grace of Swami, is like an anesthesia. The patient is still cut, operated and stitched back, but he doesn't feel it. In the same way, during difficult times, if the grace of God is around you, you get the mental strength and ability to face it. I was immensely blessed by my parents, my siblings, and Swami himself. So that there was no disconnect. Actually, the connect became stronger. Because whom else will you ask? Whom will you look up to? I looked up to him. That was my nature. And I don't think I would say that was any disconnect. That's why you see, for example, Hari Krishna has gone to Thiruvarur to study in music. And Swami's birthday, he found the Samiti and they called him and he could sing a few bhajans and appease his feelings and connect with Swami. This is how we are. So I would say in the affirmative that I always remain connected, and that helped. And that was possible because of the grounding of my parents. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much.
Sarah, any questions or thoughts? Jagdish sir, anything you would like to say?
Thank you, Sridhar sir. I think it's been all so well covered by you, and Sridhar sir has answered it so beautifully. Gratitude to Swami, gratitude to Sridhar sir, and to Suman for this beautiful platform. Very reassuring is what I would say, and inspiring. Only one thought, I leave it behind. I know we are already at 8:34. I'm not sure whether I should be asking, but I'll leave this. Maybe we can even connect offline. You said me is a great giver. And sometimes when that giving, whether it is grace, blessings, or response, is delayed, or in your assessment, there is a delay, how did you and what did you do in such situations? If there's any such experience you can share. I'm sorry, it's 8:34. Maybe I'm holding people. I'm even prepared to take this offline. Thank you very much. Sai Ram.
Yeah, well, we will take more offline, but I would like to leave this question in a different way. In the sense, a child would ask the mother for all that it wants. The mother would give what is good for the child and sometimes deny what is not good for the child. The child may not have the maturity to understand why things are being denied, and it may throw tantrums and ruckus. Over a period of time, as we see what Swami gives us, he gives us at an appropriate time. If too much is given too soon, you become a victim of your ego and things like that. So it is better left to the divine grace to descend at its own pace, whatever. And whatever, as Suman would always say, take it as grace in a package differently. Everything that happens is His grace. Even the reverse situations that can happen is His grace to block a larger catastrophe from happening. This I have experienced many times. Maybe sometime I'll share with you offline, sir. Sai Ram.
Thank you, sir. Sai Ram. Thank you, Suman.
Thank you, sir. Any more questions or thoughts before closing?
Amar sir wanted to say something.
Yeah. Amanat sir, please.
Having bad thought. Is there time for a question? Suman, can I ask a question to Sridhar?
It's objective type or short answer? Not a
Short answer. Okay. Such a supercharged talks, Sridhar always, I love him. See, it's you are such a strong disciplinarian as a professor, Sridhar. Do you think you should ever forgive an intentional mistake done by your student, or do you think no, he deserves to be punished?
Yeah, very quickly, when it comes to worldly matters, for example, I head a department, I have to evaluate a student, and if I give a favor to him, favoring one student is denying 59 in a 60 student classroom. So this unwanted favors is not actually any help or giving. Forgiving is different. In my IIM evaluations, for example, there would be some people who would have missed the bus, performed poorly, and things like that. I always take up to the academic council and say, look, give him another chance. I will give him a case study. I will give him a assignment, and I will evaluate him again. Let him get a chance. That I would do, so that this guy would get an opportunity. But to forgiveness is not to innocently or otherwise second a wrong. That is where the emotion and balance of mind come to play. A judge in a court has to behave like a justice. He cannot get emotional. So he will take a decision which may not be to your liking. Very similarly, when it comes to be judgmental, when it calls for, at that time, in the name of Sai, take the right call and leave it to him. He will take care of the rest. You are not causing any catastrophe. In fact, it happened. One student came and said, if you don't give me the grade, my father will die. He's in the bed. I said, if that's the way he should get moksha, so be it. You see, it looked very rude and crude, but then that fellow realized and came around, and later everything got salvaged. So, yeah, these emotions are play of mind, and keeping the mind balanced is extremely important. And that happens if we trust in Sai, he takes care of it. We just do the job and leave it to him. Sai Ram sir.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sridhar. I love you.
Thank you, sir. My privilege.
Thank you, sir. It's been so wonderful evening. So wonderfully have described, especially you're coming into Sai's fold through your professor, and again, experience of your father and family members, and your journey of skepticism, and finally getting convinced and facing one of the toughest situations, and instead of disconnect, making the connect stronger, and especially the importance of Balavikas and Narayan Seva, the Seva especially in one's life. And you have wonderfully explained how you surrender to Swami, before every class, and especially adherent to the values in your profession, and come what may, not bending, and the kind of being sincere to the satsangs and the takeaways till now. And so it's been really wonderful. And as you described, so life without Sai is something like land, like without salt, life without salt or sugar. So thank you very much, sir, from on behalf of all our listeners, for making this evening very delightful with your experiences, sharing your experiences and many insights about life. So I close this session today with Asatoma. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय. Thank you all. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Thank you. Thank you very much. Sai Ram.
Thank you, sir.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.